Manchester United 1-0 Nottingham Forest. A late goal from Casemiro sends us to the quarter-final of the FA Cup for the 14th consecutive time, and we do set up a date against Liverpool on the weekend of March 16th. My name is Webb, and here is the official match reaction to our hard-earned victory over Nottingham Forest. Number one, I'll start it off, of course, with the general performance of the team. I thought we reacted. It was a good reaction following our loss to Fulham. I thought, whereas it was not 100% there yet, but you can see that these players came and tried to put on a fight. They played a little better in the first half. We had good moments where we were calm. We had patterns dominating possession a bit. I thought we were very improved from how we performed against Fulham. Were we hungry enough? Not so much as the Man United team should be, but better than Fulham. For me, that was the most important thing because you don't expect this team to give us the performances we expect from United because the players are not really that good enough. But if I'm to go into the general performance of the team, I think it's commendable. There has been a bit of improvement. And I mean, at this point, you want to take every victory you get as Manchester United. So for me, we are beginning to realize a semblance of consistency. And for me, that's very important. So let's get proper into the player performances. Number one, Andre Onana, I thought was good. He kept us in the game for quite a good time because Nottingham Forest had rare chances at goal. He was always equal to the task. I would give him a 7.5, one of our better players, 7.5 out of 10. Then go to the right, Diogo Dalot, not his best game really. He had some good crosses though, so I would give him a proper 6.5 out of 10. He had some good crosses as well. I think he has worked a lot on his crossing and his one-on-one. I think he is good. He had moments where he was doing Zinedine Zidane turns and all, beating off people. I thought he had a fairly good game. 6.5 is fair enough. Then left back, Sofian Amrabat not has not been starting games for a long time, but you saw how he was involved in a lot of things. He was not shy to ask for the ball. Made a few errors in the first half, but not punishable ones were, I think, saved by Onana in one and Lindelof. So I would give Amrabat really also a 6. I will give him also a 6.5 out of 10. In the second half, I think when he came more into the midfield, he was more involved and, trying to be there. So I will also give him a 6.5 out of 10. Rafael Varane, I think, had a decent game. Two centre backs. I'll give Rafael Varane a 6.8 out of 10. Yes, I would give him a 6.8. And I'll tell you why I give him 6.8. It's because I want to give Victor Lindelof even more because Victor Lindelof, for me, was one of our better players. He was one of our best players on the pitch. I think he never put a foot wrong. So I'll give Victor Lindelof also a 7.5 out of 10. I'll put him at the same level as Andre Onana. I think they were our two better players, of course, before Casemiro, who scored the goal. So going into the middle, I'll go to Casemiro. I'll give Casemiro 8 because he scored the important goal. He took concentration. He also had efforts where he was taking shots at goal. He was really there. He tried to be involved in tackles. He was involved. He was aggressive. But most importantly, for the winning goal that had eluded us for the most part of the game, I would give him his 8 out of 10. Then I got to Scott McTominay. He was a little lost here and there. He had good moments, not his best game. I would give him a 6 out of 10. Scott, he was not exactly so present. You would not really recall a lot of him and what things he did on the ball. So except some good just control he did, yeah, I'll give him a 6 out of 10 really. Then Bruno Fernandes assisted again. He has now scored and contributed in 15 goals this season. So he has done 15 and more goals contributions in the all seasons he has played at Man United. That's commendable. That's consistency, really. And we can blame him for not turning up for the past couple of months. But I think this was one of those games where he tried to improve a little bit, a little bit. So I'll give him a 6.5 out of 10, Bruno. Then up top was Marcus Rashford, one of our poor performers. I thought he was wasteful. I was not impressed at all by Marcus Rashford, to be honest. I thought he was quite wasteful. He was not clinical in his finish. Again, his facial expressions and body language were not good for me. So Rashford, I'll give Rashford 5 out of 10. He was average for me for United. Then Garnacho, also not his best game. I like that Garnacho always is not afraid to get the ball and attack defenses and try to put off people. He's bold enough to try and do that. This time, of course, he's beginning not. I think they are figuring him out a bit. So he cuts in, but he's never getting into dangerous positions where he can pull off something impeccable. So maybe that, but I'll give Garnacho 5.5 out of 10. Then Anthony, who started the game, I thought this was by his standards, this was one of his better games. He was doing the basics, not trying to do too much, not trying to be fancy, playing the simple pass, not shy on the ball, looking for the ball, being involved in play. So by Anthony's standards, he would feel good if I gave him a 6 out of 10. I would give Anthony 6 out of 10 really. For his fair performances in the first the minutes he was on, was his show ups. He was playing some good passes again in the final third. He was involved in a couple of things. So 6 out of 10 is fair enough for him. So the general team performance, again, I think was better. We dominated possession, both halves. Both halves. In fact, the second half was a little, I think, of an improvement. So the general team performance, I think I would give us a 6.8 out of 10. Our general performance, because we improved a lot from what we did against Fulham. We played a little like a team now that has been training. We'll try to put a few passes together. So there was a general performance in the team that you would want to commend. And that's very important. I want to give credit where it's due. Eric Ten Hag, the boss, you feel, I mean, knowing, the injuries he got to Harry Maguire, and Bruno was a doubt. He pushed to start, and then how he came and organized the team. I think I would give Eric Ten Hag a 7 out of 10 for how we handled this game, because Nottingham Forest at home was never an easy side. They beat us in the last game. You saw how they were comfortable on the ball, trying to possess it, pass it, and trying to initiate things and stuff. I think really Eric Ten Hag handled the game decently well. I thought maybe he took a little bit long to make the substitutions, as always, to bring on Ahmad Diallo, and of course later on to bring on Kobe Mainu. But I mean, what's important, like they say, the end always justifies the means. So for me, I think a 7 out of 10 is decent enough, considering how we improved, greatly from our performance against Fulham. You saw that at least in that past week, they had in the past days they had to train. There was to prepare. There is something they worked on, and there was something to improve. But that said, whereas by that game there are those decent marks that I would give them because we got the W. I think generally, by and large, we still have got a long way to go. And of course, games like this start giving you second thoughts about Eric Ten Hag, and you're thinking maybe it's the players who are not good enough. Maybe they're not good enough to execute his idea, and maybe he could need time. And Wayne Rooney spoke about it, and he was saying, when he was talking for BBC, Rooney is a former player, and I quote him because he's a former player, one of our greatest. And he was saying that, I mean, we are beginning to realize a bit of consistency, and that's good because it had eluded us for a long time. So it's a process. You want to give it to that. But I think now we are beginning to, we are still struggling to have a clear, consistent identity, but the consistency is in results, because this is, I think we've lost only once, I think, in 9 games. So that's consistency. But in terms of display, we played fairly well, not so well, but fairly well by our standards in this game. Now we've got Sunday where we play Man City. What football are we going to play? So for me, that has been the problem. But again, you might think it's because of the players who are not always as good or good enough. And again, that's why you get the division. So it's always going to be divided opinions about Eric. And you wonder, can he be trusted? Should they trust him and give him more time? Could he be able to craft something nice, for the greater good? Well, we'll talk about that probably after assessing the rest of the games. It's good now. We've got a big test coming. First, we play against Manchester City next, but not so long after that. I think the penultimate weekend after that, the weekend but one, we will be taking on Liverpool in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. That's another tough fixture, and these are games you want to test Eric Ten Hag against, because we are Man United, and we are thinking these are the games we should be able to come out and show up. So let's wait and see for Sunday. But for me, by and large, I'll take the win, hard earned, but yeah, good response from that performance. Great reaction from the poor performance we had at home against Fulham. My name is Webb. This is the United of Sport. I'll catch you later.